Okay, we're live. Jimana Jaya, you see the verse?
Yes, could you
So
scroll
we're
up a
skipping
little bit?
Sanskrit, right?
Yeah,
Going
I'm
to
gonna
the translation.
um, Sukadeva Goswami said, the learned Brahmanas living along the river Saraswati came to this conclusion in order to dispel the doubts of all people. Thereafter, they rendered devotional service to the Supreme Lord's lotus feet and attained his abode. Scroll up. Sri Sutta Goswami said, thus did this fragrant nectar flow from the lotus mouth of Sutta Goswami said, thus did this fragrant nectar flow from the lotus mouth of Sukadeva Goswami, the son of the sage Vyasadeva. This wonderful glorification of the Supreme Person destroys all fear of material existence. A traveler who constantly drinks this nectar through his ear holes will forget the fatigue brought on by wandering along the path of worldly life. Purport by the noble servants of His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Divine Servants Ki Jai. This narration of Srila Sukadeva Goswami is precious in two ways. For those suffering from spiritual infirmity, it is an effective tonic to cure the disease of illusion. And for surrendered Vaishnavas, it is a delicious and invigorating beverage, fragrant with the aroma of Sri Shuka's realizations.
Thank you, Jimana Jaya. All right. So, Adipusha Prabhu, can you hear us okay?
It's low.
Low. Okay. Did you hear the verses?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
A little bit.
Great.
Because it's very
So, yeah, would anyone like to recap on this story? I need a pundit. Who's the pundit here? Adipusha Prabhu, would you like to recap the story? What's happening here?
well. What we're hearing is that the benefit of hearing, fear goes away. They give the analogy of hunger being satisfied, the idea of a fire being extinguished, that this hearing brings us to the point of devotional service to Krishna, which is the life of the soul and the solution to all problems.
So yeah, when the doubts were dissipated, they engaged in service. That's what the verse says. I don't know, Adipusha Prabhu. Can anyone else hear me okay?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Adipusha Prabhu, you are the problem. I'm sorry.
Here also, he says it's difficult.
It's loud. Is the phone volume up enough?
All the way up.
Yes. Okay. We have Krishna Daya here. Krishna Daya Prabhu, would you like to recite the invocation prayers?
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamni Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratise Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate गोपेश गोपिकान्ता राधाकान्ता नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि वृषभानुस्तुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे.
Thank you, Krishnadaya Prabhu. Did we miss anything in the story when we were recapping on it? Maybe you can briefly retell the story quickly, Krishnadaya Prabhu?
Is the story of Bhrugumuni testing all the three.
Yeah. Just maybe quickly.
Yeah, sure. So there was a great conversation. They wanted to find out who is the greatest among all the gods, and then they appointed Bhrugumuni. So Bhrugumuni went to first Lord Brahma, and then he tried to neglect Lord Brahma, and then Lord Shiva. So there were offenses. Bhrugumuni tried to incite anger in each of them, and then Brahma got disturbed. Lord Shiva also got disturbed. So there was a verbal offense, there was a mental offense, and finally, when they came to Lord Vishnu, Bhrugumuni tried a physical offense, which is the topmost. But still, Lord Vishnu tolerated, and then that's how.
Lord Vishnu tolerated it. Thank you.
Then when he came back and told them about it.
Yeah.
Then this section is about acknowledging, wow, Krishna is so cool. Wow, Krishna's, you know, so wonderful. And, when we hear about Krishna, then this is the medicine, soothing balm, the calming down of all our fear. No fear. What a cool thing.
Thank you, Adipurusha Prabhu. Would anyone like to reflect on this? No fear?
So, can I just share a verse? Very nice verse.
Yes, Krishnadaya Prabhu.
So there's this verse by Kulashekara Alvar. So, and there's a book also called Krishna Rasayan. It's a very famous book. It composes all the Vaishnav bhajans. So at the back of the book, the end of the book. So this particular verse is quoted. So it said, this body is made up of hundreds of joints. Idam shariram parinama peshalam. It is prone to changes. Shatasandhi jarjaram. It has hundreds of joints. Oh mind, what medicine you ask? Because body, then there are like diseases. Oh mind, what medicine you ask? Niramayam Krishna Rasayanam Piba. A medicine that will never fail. That's called elixir. So Niramayam Krishna Rasayanam Piba. So please drink the Krishna Rasa and the glories of Lord Krishna. So, and that's how the book is titled as Krishna Rasayan. So it's all bhajans of Krishna. So it's something similar to today's verse. Just drink the glories of Piba. So drink the glories of Krishna. So, and then a medicine like, just like Adipush Prabhu was saying, a medicine that never fails. So yeah, it brings us again, invokes the attraction towards Lord, hearing the pastimes. Yeah, thank you for coordinating this every day without fail. Anand Bihari.
With fails, Krishnadaya Prabhu. Thank you so much for backing us up so nicely. What's that verse, Krishnadaya Prabhu? I think it's in the Gita or somewhere else in the Shastra, where it says that Krishna's pastimes are relishable not only to or medicinal, not only to fallen souls, but also to realized souls. It's something. Um, Today's verse is about this also. And I thought of this verse. Maybe Anupam Prabhu knows. And I tried to look it up, but I couldn't. It says something like devotional service is good not only for fallen souls, but also for self-realized souls. In other words, there's nothing beyond devotional service. That's the ultimate medicine, ultimate shelter, ultimate elixir. No? Okay, I'll look. I'll keep looking.
You got it. You got it. The thing is, when we hear, when we're in a dangerous, precarious position, and we hear that Krishna is powerful, wonderful, concerned about us, aware of our difficulty, willing, able, and eager to rescue us and care for us and protect us, then we're like, oh, thank you, Krishna, you're so wonderful. So the hearing about how wonderful Krishna is, how he wants to care for us and is capable of doing it, that's very reassuring, isn't it?
Yeah. Hearing fortifies our intelligence. We have Jimuna Jaya raising her hand.
I was just to the point of what Krishna Daya was saying about the drinking. I think is really interesting and being the nectar and the medicinal purposes is that when you drink something, it's more quickly absorbed than when you eat it. If you take a drink medicine, oh, looks like Anupam found the verse you were talking about. But I was thinking it's such a great analogy that we drink in because it's more easily absorbed as opposed to like in the Gita, Krishna talks about you can try all these other methods. You can try Ashtanga method, you could try Gyan method, but the end bhakti is not just the most natural, but it's the easiest and the fastest. Sort of like the liquids are more easily and quickly absorbed into the body, so and it can be quite tasteful. So it's this fast track that is most efficient and most pleasurable, sort of like you think about on a hot day, a cool drink would be one of the first things to cool you down. You have to wait for the AC to turn on, you have to wait for the fan. But that dose of sweet water, which of course Krishna is a taste of water. So I just made that quick connection in my mind as Krishna Dai was speaking.
Thank you, Jimuna Jaya. Yeah, I'm thinking of past times. I'm thinking of all these wonderful analogies that Srila Prabhupada came up with for us. They're so easily digestible. Krishna Kumari?
Yeah, I also was really taken by this traveler who constantly drinks nectar through the ears, through the ear holes, because we know we have the 9 gates. So we'll forget the fatigue brought on by wandering along the paths of worldly life. So I also looked it up, and the Chaitanya Charitamrita is just filled with this kind of connection between nectar and the ears. So here's from the CC: the nectarian buttermilk of your flute's vibration, the nectar of your sweet words, and the nectarian sound of your ornaments mixed together to attract ears, minds, and lives. Here's another one from the Madhya Lila. Topics about Krishna are like waves of nectar. If such nectar does not enter one's ears, the ear is no better than the hole of a damaged conch shell. Such an ear is created for no purpose. And I finally remember, and it's actually become my practice, finally remember being at a rainbow gathering. I didn't go there to find stuff. I went there to serve, just so you know. But I remember a rainbow gathering, and yeah, Radhanath Maharaj, he has the same message to, a lawyer and to a naked man painted blue. He would say, when you're hearing the chanting, you have your hands together and you're drinking the nectar into the ears, it's like pouring into the ears, into the heart. And then when it's your turn to share, you're calling out from the heart because you've already drank it in. It's a whole exchange about bringing bringing in the sound vibration, bringing in Krishna's name, bringing Krishna in through the ear holes is so important into the heart. So then you can call out from the heart. And it's a wonderful vessel and meditation for our japa and for our kirtan attending. Hari Hari
Thank you,
Bol.
Krishna Kumari. Thank you. Yeah, I'm thinking the message, it's so wonderful that in Krishna consciousness, the message doesn't change. I'm hearing the same message I heard when I was an eclectic fool, when I was just joining. I heard the same message. You're not the body. Serve Krishna. God is a person. And there's no secret doctrine as you move on the path of bhakti. There's no secret. It's an open secret. Take to devotional service and the process works. Min has her hand. Adi. Min, Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you. I really like this, the word traveler in here, and it's speaking for the traveler who's so tired from just traveling, wandering around through the worldly life, just for so long. And I like how I could I could be heard in this verse as the wanderer, as the traveler who's just been kind of lost, wandering around. And in a different, I go to another Srimad Bhagavatam class after this one, and in that class, we've been reading the portion. We're just right at the portion where Sukadev Goswami has arrived, and Maharaj Parikshit has sat down, and everyone, the rishis, Raja rishis, came from everywhere to hear the Bhagavatam. And it's such a beautiful scene. And to really bring what we heard today, this traveler who's hearing it, who can hear it and be relieved of the fatigue. I just love this image of everyone gathered in the forest to hear this amazing text, and me being sort of in the background, just passing by and hearing something, and hopefully staying in this circle. And it is sort of like that, right? Coming to this morning sangha. So I just thought it was really cool, and I feel really, really lucky to be in that circle.
Thank you, Min. Thank you, Krishna Kumari, for the visuals. Thank you. I'm picturing Adipurusha Prabhu wearing an apron only. Adipurusha Prabhu, go ahead.
Yeah, one of the verses says that wherever pure topics of the transcendental world are discussed and Krishna is glorified, it evokes the Vaikuntha atmosphere. It like evokes, it's magical, it's like a spell that's cast over us when we enter into glorifying Krishna together. And one analogy that Prabhupada uses is he said a good doctor, he knows the medicine, he diagnoses and he prescribes the medicine and the dosage, but then he also knows how to administer the medicine. An ordinary person, he'll say, this is bitter, you take this once every 4 hours for the next 3 days. This is a bitter pill. But it's good for you. Like neem, if you've ever taken neem, it's super bitter. But then it says that the doctor is also a good administrator, that if it's a child, he'll take the medicine and he'll put it in colored water with sugar so that he can administer the same medicine to someone who's a little less eager to suffer eating in the bitter medicine. And then he says, and if someone is completely unconscious, the doctor can administer a hypodermic needle and just inject it, So the Guru was very interestingly enthusiastic to get that medicine in us by one means or another, either by, all right, please take this bitter medicine, or here it is, this is just candy, this is just sweet drink, colored water with sugar, or a Guru was good. He'll give you a good shot if you're totally covered over and unconscious. So we're grateful that we're in the good hands of the care of the spiritual master.
Thank you, Adipusha Prabhu. There's a verse in the Shastra. It's Shrimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 3. Pure devotional service. Interesting title. The Changing Heart. Verse 20. One who has not listened to the messages about the prowess and marvelous acts of this personality of Godhead, and has not sung or chanted loudly the worthy songs about the Lord, is to be considered to possess ear holes like the holes of snakes, and a tongue like the tongue of a frog. It's a wonderful verse on ear holes. So without hearing about Krishna, we are considered to possess ear holes of a snake, and a tongue like a tongue of a frog. If we talk about nonsense, that's the frog tongue. Let's read the purport. Devotional service to the Lord is rendered by all limbs or parts of the body, all limbs. Interesting. It is the transcendental dynamic force of the spirit soul. So see, the soul has limbs, apparently. Therefore, a devotee is engaged 100% in the service of the Lord. One can engage in devotional service when the senses of the body are purified in relation with the Lord, and one can render service to the Lord with the help of all the senses. As such, the senses and the action of the senses are to be considered impure or materialistic, as long as they are employed only in sense gratification. The purified senses are engaged not in sense gratification, but in the service in the Lord in total. The Lord is the supreme with all senses, and the servitor, who is part and parcel of the Lord, also has the same senses as the Lord. Service to the Lord is the completely purified use of the senses, as described in the Bhagavad Gita. The Lord imparted instruction within full senses, and Arjuna received them with full senses. And thus, there was a perfect exchange of sensible and logical understanding between the master and the disciple. Spiritual understanding is nothing like an electrical charge from the master to the disciple, as foolishly claimed by some propaganda mongers. Everything is full of sense and logic, and the exchange of views between the master and disciple is possible only when the reception is submissive and real. Yes.
Your voice is like a frog's compared to your son's voice. It's unbelievable. Your son has a flute for a voice, and you're like Radeep.
Thank you, Prabhu. Can I continue reading the purport? In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said that one should receive the teaching of Lord Chaitanya with intellect and full senses so that one can logically understand the great mission. Okay, looks like Ram needs my attention here. But yeah, we can apply all our restless senses in hearing about Krishna, in serving Krishna. With all our, what's the body, Hrid Vagvapabir, we serve Krishna with body, with mind, and with heart. That's how we serve. And without interruption, ahoitokya pratiyata, without interruption and cessation. Unceasingly, unmotivated, without any inappropriate motivation. That's how we serve. That's how we hear. Jai. Okay, the floor is yours, dear devotees, please. Bhima Prabhu, I appreciate your interjection. I was about to call on you, because the class is not the same without you. I was thinking how you were administering medicine to the horses, injecting it into an apple.
Um,
The big
Afro
thing
Bima,
is, up, Haribo.
you go ahead, Bima.
Just very quickly about that in medicine. The horse, when the vet arrives, especially if it's a new vet, and they pull out a syringe with a long needle. I'll tell you very quickly a pastime. We had this horse Redemption mare, had a mind of her own, like all female horses do, like all females in general, have a mind of their own. And I didn't want the vet to use a twitch. It's called a twitch. It wraps around the lips of the horse, and he tightens it in order to get the horse to stay still, which is, it's not cruel, but sometimes it's necessary. I said, no, don't do it. I'll hold her. And then he came in with the syringe, and her eyes opened wide. And because I was holding her by her halter, she stormed out of the stall, and I'm holding onto the halter. And because I was in front of her, I had to lift my legs up. So I was riding like an Indian underneath her neck as she stormed out of the barn and into the front yard, all the while the vet was laughing. The purport here to this is that before we administer any type of medicine to others in regards to the Bhagavatam, in regards to Krishna's teaching, we have to gain the trust. They have to be familiar with us, and they have to we have to gain their trust. We can't just come at them with philosophy, and even especially because it is offensive with Leela. We should not broadcast the glories of the Lord and his specific pastimes to people who don't even trust you, have no faith in you, let alone, in a culturally a strange source of divine pastimes. So we always have to remember that, yes, for us who are now familiar and are now have faith enough to trust what we're reading, to allow it to settle into us. Krishna's pastimes have that magical effect. We start to realize that when you read Krishna book, you're like, there's one part of you, the doubting Thomas, is always going to say, these are children's stories. How does this pertain to me in my adult life? But there's this really sweet part of our heart which says, oh, let me just surrender, let me suspend the disbelief I have, the doubting Thomas critical mind, and let me assimilate these pastimes and let them do their magic, because they're spells. They're literally, Krishna's pastimes are spells, and when you become under the influence of the spell, you become enchanted, like the chanting. You become enchanted. You become part of the chant, part of the Leela yourself. And that, of course, brings us happiness, and the happiness is ruchi, which is taste, and due to taste, we become attached, which is the next step, and then pretty soon, you move on to those higher realms. But always remember that when we share these things, even the holy name itself, that we have to do so in such a way that it is palatable, and that first step of palatability or taste is that the people respect you. Of course, and just to sum up the whole thing, this is why Prabhupada always led with prasad and singing and dancing. They asked Prabhupada what will be the thing that keeps that is the attractive source of this movement, and he said the culture, and the culture, of course, is the feasting, the prasad, and of course the chanting, and that's why it's the most important thing for us to always make sure that when we are presenting Krishna's pastimes or Krishna himself, that we do so as an attractive representative. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Bhima Prabhu. Jamuna Jaya.
I was just making a connection in my mind from the verse that you were referencing on Adabihari about the use of the tenses and the in the verse we're reading today about the word the fatigue brought on by wandering along the paths of worldly life. And when we are chasing the material senses, it can be so exhausting. That can bring on the fatigue because we're never going to get enough of it. It's like if you have one thing, you're going to want more, and then the thing goes away, and you're going to want more and more, and that external chasing for to fill the God-sized hole, to quote Raghunath Kapo, that's within us. It's going to be exhausting. And instead, in the verse, if we if we fill the ear holes, the beautiful thing that Krishna Kumari pointed out, for if we fill the holes instead with Krishna Kata, with Krishna, then that takes away the fatigue, because otherwise we're running in the wrong direction. We're running and running and running over something that will never, it's like the horse with a carrot that will never fill us. But instead, if we stopped and listened, then the fatigue will go away because it's filling it up with the right thing. So I just was making that connection between those two things. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Jamuna Jaya. Fill the hole, everybody. Stop chasing the senses. Dave Prabhu.
Yeah, hi. Firstly, just like to say thank you to the Bhakti Center for the warm welcome that you give every day to everyone attending, for the chanting of Hare Krishna, and just for the kind of the environment where we have these classes. For me, I'm someone that's kind of new to all this, and I was wondering whether anyone have any suggestions in terms of further reading. Things I can learn more besides coming to these classes.
Thank you, Dave. Let's everyone recommend one book to Dave. My book would be Srila Prabhupada's Lilamrita, either a short version or multi-volume version. That's what I would recommend.
So just say that again.
There's no further reading. This reading is eternal. It's like you dip your finger into a river.
Thank you.
You'll get carried away. What's your
But
suggestion?
it's a whole new language for him. You have to say it again, the name of the book.
Yeah, let's put it in the chat box,
We
everybody.
put it in the chat.
Yeah. Dave, I would really suggest, have you read The Journey Within by Ramnath Swami?
No, I've heard of that book, but I haven't. Yeah, I'll write that one down.
That's for beginners, is a really, really good one. Ramnath Maharaj does really good at like laying the base. Yeah.
Dave, we can put these in the chat, but also the Bhakti Center has community groups, like little reading circles for beginning Bhakti, and they read The Journey Within. So it's nice to read it with other people who are also in a similar stage as you, and you can kind of talk, and it also kind of is, it's hard in our day-to-day lives to sometimes do the reading, and so it kind of helps you, encourages you to actually do the reading. So we can put that in the chat too.
Okay, thank you.
They're online.
In the chat, in the WhatsApp group too, in Madhuri.
Well, I don't know if Dave is on the WhatsApp.
Dave, are you on the
yes, I am. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Okay, we'll put it there then.
In fact, my community group on The Journey Within is starting this next Wednesday. That would be on the
there you go
on the website, Dave, if you want to join us.
Okay, great.
We'll put the link.
Yeah.
Bhima Prabhu, what's your recommendation? What's your favorite book?
I'll interject for Bhima.
Yeah.
The Bhagavad Gita saved my life. You could read it.
I've actually brought that yesterday, so that's great.
Yeah,
that's great to hear.
I need to hear all the time, and you're always going to receive something new.
Yeah.
And it's Krishna's always speaking to you.
Oh, wow.
When you read the Bhagavad Gita.
I look forward to reading that. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you. So I have one more verse that I'd like to recite. It's Srimad Bhagavatam 12:51, 12th canto. You see, Ram did the Sanskrit, so I'll do the translation. Those words that do not describe the glories of the Lord, who alone can sanctify the atmosphere of the whole universe, are considered to be like unto a place of pilgrimage for crows, and are never resorted to those and are never resorted to by those situated in transcendental knowledge. The pure and saintly devotees, like Jamunajaya, take interest only in topics glorifying the infallible Supreme Lord. So the pilgrimage for crows, that's another beautiful analogy for something that is not glorifying the Lord, that is not uplifting or connected to devotional service. And crows usually gather on a giant dump. Yeah. So yeah, sometimes after watching news, especially, I was scrolling. My mind looks like a pilgrimage site for crows. A huge dump. Everybody's dumping stuff, and I take it in. So therefore, we should take in pure subject matters, like Krishna Katha. Yeah. Okay, dear devotees, I need help here. Please interject.
Something Srila Prabhupada shares with us how if we're sleeping, the ear is working. You can write something on the wall, the house is on fire, but nobody will see it. But if you call out, if a person who's awake calls out to someone who's asleep, they can draw them out of that unconscious condition. So it's very important. And lately, I have a habit of like listening to a class on YouTube. Yesterday I re-listened to Sri Prahlad's class that he gave a few mornings ago. And I have a computer at work, and I'm there on the night shift for 7 hours, 8 hours. So I take a little prasadam, and I watch a class while I'm taking prasadam. But for a couple of days, the audio wasn't working on the computer. And it was painful. I mean, really painful not to be able to hear while I was taking prasadam. But somehow or other, Mark fixed the computer last night. I'm so grateful, so relieved to be able to hear something from an elevated soul. And we are uplifted by hearing from somebody who's on a higher level of consciousness. It purifies. Shinvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana. That the personality of Godhead, the Paramatma in the heart, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from a person who relishes his messages. And it says that if our occupation does not provoke an attraction for hearing the messages of Vasudeva, then our activity, our work is useless. So when we engage in devotional service, it gives us a hunger to hear, an eagerness to hear. Develop that habit and directly experience how nourishing and enlivening it is to hear the truth. It conquers over the uncontrolled mind, and we are sustained. And Vaisheshekha Prabhu says, if we don't hear sufficiently from Scripture, what is the rest of it? We begin to imagine injustices. We don't hear sufficient. So if we're imagining injustices, which is the mind, like, oh, this shouldn't happen. Why did he do that? Why did she do this? It's the government, it's him, it's them. We complain about other people, when actually Bhagavad Gita says, you are the cause of your pleasure and pain. And if we don't take the medicine, we'll be in the diseased mental condition, mental illness.
What if what if you are a practicing devotee, but you're still attracted to the worldly subjects, as if driven by force? What to do when that occurs?
Regulation. You know the word regulation?
Vaguely.
Like every day you're here at class, right? You have a regular habit. So with our intelligence, we subscribe to a particular schedule of activity. I always hear when I'm taking prasadam. I'm always going to be taking prasadam, so I connect it to another dose of hearing, you know. We get up in the morning, we bathe, we chant, and then we hear from scripture. We hear from class every day. And we inquire submissively because everyone is listening. We're selecting personalities to speak into our life. So who do we look up to? Who do we want to hear from? With our intelligence, we select a regulation time, a particular source, and a personality to speak to us. And we'd have this diet, just like if you don't eat nourishing food, you become weak. If we don't hear nourishing shastric information pouring in on a regular basis, we begin to misperceive. We not only, the scripture says, not only do we see things in a distorted way, we're looking at the reflection of the tree in the river, tree on the other side of the river, and therefore it looks like the roots grow up and the leaves go down. So we'll see things completely backward if we don't hear sufficiently.
That's why it's important in the morning, first thing that you do, as Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati said, is you beat your mind with a broom or a shoe 1,000 strokes. That would be, of course, to either be chanting or immediately upon rising, throw yourself into just chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita and just rise above the daily riffraff that's been going on for millennia, time and time, chewing the chewed, these concerns with what's happening around us in the world is not new. It's always the same old story. And the only way to handle them, and I'm preaching to myself here. Oh, there's the thing. The only way to handle them is to show up before the deities and remember the promises that Krishna gives us, to never fear, and he will relieve us. Hare Krishna.
And Bori John Prabhu says for today's day and age, we should actually treat the mind like a baby and not hit it. Just say, okay, child,
Just
I
tap it.
hear you, but we're not going to do that right now. We're going to do this. Be gentle to it.
Screw that. Slap them, slap them down. Jeez, what kind of, maybe your mind is a baby. Mine's a dragon.
Yeah, my mind is a monster. Yeah.
Mine is a squirrel and cappuccino.
It's good. Oh, it's good. Oh, so they can hear it? Oh, I don't know if they can hear it. Can they hear it? Oh, okay. Speaking about spiritual mastery, one way in which we can continue to do things. Now, as we go to speak the great Lord heavens, by His grace, one across the ocean of suffering, and needlessness of Krishna. Now we wish to set our consciousness purified, emanating from this one. Attach us to the secrets of perfection, He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, I'm ecstatic that my memory is planted of Him be Jesus. Vedic scripture is seen in there. Our spiritual master, the ocean of mercy, the friend of the Lord, more than enough to go to. O Master, that His words must give us the shade of the road to sleep. The Vedic spirit of all the three worlds. Jai.
Jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Okay, welcome to the afterglow. We can have a brief afterglow. If anyone would like to speak, please go ahead. Now is the time. Hare Krishna. Sarah Prabhu, how are you doing? Check 1, check 2.
Hari bol, Hari bol, Hari bol. How are you guys? Lots of love and respects. I was just, when you asked the question, I was reflecting how amazing Srila Prabhupada is in terms of taking on the mission. My wife will tell you, I'm all talk. When it comes to action, I'm not doing much. And joking, of course, I try my best. She appreciates it. But I always have this inner heart calling to really, help the poorest of the poor of the poor of the world. Just help anyone in the world that's struggling. And then you have to leave everything you're doing. I know we talk about you don't have to leave it, but he literally left everything to bring the Hari name to so many, and it's mind blowing. We all talk about doing it, but he did it, and it's just I was appreciating that. So I don't know. I wanted to share it. Um, yeah. That's what I wanted to share.
My mom's about to be here.
Thank you. Anupam Prabhu, are you glorifying Krishna? Yeah, let's all appreciate Srila Prabhupada's sacrifice and gift. And let's all give it to others. Let's carry it further. Pass it on. Let's tolerate people like Srila Prabhupada tolerated us. Let's be kind. And let's give people access to devotional service, like we were given access to it. Somebody took the time to give it to us, so let's not be, selfish. Let's give it to others.
So Ananda Bihari, quick question for you.
For me or for Ram?
For Ram, Haribol, lots
Okay.
of love. And then for you, a question. So was there a light that went on, the Krishna love light, something, an experience that kind of that made you that you had a realization of Sri Krishna? Was there some moment you met someone? I'd love to hear, because you're quite exemplary in radiating your Krishna consciousness. So I was curious, like, was there a moment? Was it 10 years ago? Was it 15 years ago? Something happened and you're like, hey, this is something, and I need to pick up the Bhagavad Gita. Um, if you could shed a moment or two, or a couple of lines with that
Yes, it was
experience
this morning.
and
It was this
enlighten us.
morning. This morning, Sarah Prabhu. That's when it happened. I woke up, brushed my teeth, and realized, all right, I have to go to class. I have to hear about Krishna. We join every day, like Adipusha Prabhu said. It's not that I joined in 1972. We join every day. We make this choice every day. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm in the movement because of the devotees like Sri Adipurush Prabhu. When I met him, like, it kind of sealed the deal for me. All right, I'm staying. And then, yeah, I'm here because of Prabhupada. And before Krishna consciousness, I was a confused, misguided, selfish, miserable fool. But my spiritual master and Srila Prabhupada are allowing me to do something useful with my life. I'll talk more. I can talk more about it, but maybe not now because Ram needs my attention. But thank you for asking, Sarah Prabhu. Thank you. That
Thank
really.
you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. No, even the morning part is quite impactful and powerful. So thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Sundaranandaji, you will be the reciter today. Unmute yourself,
Hare
Sundarananda.
Krishna. Yes, Prabhu. I had a small thought about the crows that you mentioned. I was remembering something that Radhanath Maharaj said about crows. He said there are new crows and old crows. The new crows are the ones that he was comparing because he was around uh, um, like somewhere nearby. There was a dumpster, and there were all these crows that were gathered around there. And he said the ones in in the West are the old crows because they're used to these sense gratification. But he was saying the new crows are the ones in India who now are just starting to experience the ways of the West. And he was saying they're so enthusiastic in tasting the garbage. So he said uh, so there's new crows and old crows. So I'm trying to figure out which one I am. I'm probably a mix of both.
You're not a crow at all. You're a dove.
Uh, Adi Purush Prabhu is a dove. So, all right. So did you want me to end it out?
Yeah. Recite the Maha Mantra, please, loudly.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Sweet. Thank you, Sundarananda Prabhu. Thanks, everyone on this call. We love you. We need you. Have a wonderful Saturday. Give it to Krishna and come again tomorrow for another day in Lord Chaitanya's movement. Thank you very much for your support.